So the bus in the Alaskan wilderness that featured in the story that would become globally known as Into the Wild has been moved from its location by the American Army. But what do we all think of this? Christopher McCandless graduated from Emory College in 1990, and he donated all of his savings, which was his fund to attend law school, some $24,000 to Oxfam. He then severed all of his ties with friends and family and went to wander across the United States. He travelled along the Colorado River, down into Mexico, up into California amongst various other locations. However, his end goal was to reach Alaska and survive a stretch in the wilderness of America's largest state. About 18 miles off the Stampede Trail in Healy, he stumbled upon Magic Bus 142, an abandoned bus which he went on to use as a shelter, and he survived in it for a total of 113 days. It's a polarising story. Some love the romanticism of living off the land and being free from society, whereas others believe that he was reckless to venture out alone without the correct training or equipment. Chris's story was told by Jon Krakauer in 1996 in his best-selling book Into the Wild, and this was later adapted into a film of the same name by writer-director Sean Penn. I first saw the film around 2012 and I completely fell head over heels in love with it. I even made a list of 40 things to do before I turned 40, and visiting the bus was one of my ambitions. I even wrote a comedy show about how I wanted to do this, but couldn't afford the flights from England to Alaska, so I had to recreate it in the fields of Lancashire. My homage to Chris's story was called Into the Mild, and I performed it in a few comedy festivals. But last week, when I saw the frankly shocking footage of the bus being transported via Chinook helicopter from its location, I was quite upset because it's now a historical landmark. It should also be noted that the bus that features in the film was in fact a replica. The decision was made early on in the filmmaking process that the actual location was too remote for the crew to reach on a daily basis, and also out of respect for the story, it seemed like recreating the bus in a more accessible part of Alaska was the right thing to do. And if you want to visit the bus from the film, then you can do so at the 49th State Brewery in the town of Healy. But what of the real bus? Well, it was removed by the Alaskan National Guard and the Alaska Department of Natural Resources in a military training exercise called Operation Yutan. The bus has been transported to a safe yet undisclosed location, and the future of it hasn't been decided. It's a very interesting discussion, but there is no right or wrong answer regarding the bus being moved. Essentially, it was transported from its location because there have been many cases of people becoming stranded in the wilderness whilst on pilgrimages to the bus, with some sightseers even sadly passing away. So as a safety precaution, it makes complete sense to move it. But will this stop people still wanting to visit the area that Chris inhabited back in 1992, even without the bus actually being at the location? Another question is, will the bus now, or at some point in the future, be accessible to the public to visit in a safer location, such as a museum? And if so, where will this be? Should it be in Healy, the town nearest to the site, another location in Alaska, or even in Annandale, Virginia, which is where Chris spent most of his childhood and upbringing? So the bus was originally from the 1940s, and it's been located in the wilderness since 1961, where it was left as a place of shelter for hunters. So will something else be placed there instead for anyone who happens to be out hunting in the area? And when the bus was choppered away, in order to transport it, they had to drill holes through the roof and attach them underneath to its structure. So was it right to damage a place of inspiration to so many? Also inside the bus, there is a suitcase which contained journals and diaries from the people who visited over the years. Chris's personal Bible was located in this case, as well as messages from his parents and his sister Corinne. These are being held in storage by the National Guard for the time being, but what will happen to these? Will they be on display as well as the bus in the future? Ultimately, I'm saddened that I won't have the opportunity to ever visit the bus in its original location. However, hopefully accessibility to it will be much easier, which is a massive bonus. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that it should have been moved? Would you have liked to have visited the bus at some point? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to check out both the excellent book and film Into the Wild, and there's also some wonderful videos that are well worth watching on YouTube of people who have made the pilgrimage. I'll post links to a couple of my favourites down in the description below as well. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel, click that like button and the bell for notification of future videos. We have videos weekly. We'll see you next time. Keep it real. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more film content. And if you would like to join us for a film location walking tour of Liverpool, you can do so by booking online at realtours.co.uk.